we're in the pen. We've got two Negaprion brevirostrisses in here, and that is, for anyone that doesn't speak Latin, two lemon sharks. Now it's Negaprion, which means that it's got sharp pointed teeth which aren't serrated, and brevirostris, which means it's got a small short snout. So we're going to try and catch one. Here we go. I'll give that to you, Lauren, so I can just get hold of it. And I'm being very, very careful when I'm trying to handle this guy, because surprisingly the majority of accidents that happen at Shark Lab are actually with feisty little lemon sharks, not with the big guys. So I've got quite a strong grip on it. I've actually got my hands just in front of its dorsal fin. You can see it's slightly yellow in colour, just along here. That's where it gets the name from, but they also have two dorsal fins which are almost identical in size, so we can look at those and we can identify it as a lemon shark. Now its caudal fin here, which I am holding as far away from its mouth as possible, is a slightly different shape than a pelagic species. If you look at the bottom part of its caudal fin, it's a lot shorter, and that's because it doesn't need to be swimming constantly. It can buccal pump on the bottom, which is what it's doing now. It's just getting water into its mouth and pushing it over its gills. Now, I'm very wary with this guy because they have such sharp teeth, but also because, like any other shark, they don't have skeletons. They're all cartilage here, so they have a very, very tight turning radius. Now that means, like he's trying to do now, he's very, very strong. I've actually got hold of him along his muscle here. He might have a little bit of a thrash. Just calm down, calm down. Okay, let's just give him a second to calm down. There we go, that's better. It looks like I'm actually holding him really tight, but what I've got hold of is a very, very thick piece of muscle that runs right along his spine. So I can hold on to that quite well without actually hurting him whatsoever. There we go. That is a little bit more chilled now. So, as I was saying, they don't have a skeleton, they've only got cartilage, and that means that he can turn his head to get it right to his tail, which given half a chance he will do, because they don't actually like being handled. So we try to keep handling to a minimum. Now if you look at his gills just here, you can see that they're slightly blotchy. So I'm going to release him very, very shortly, but just beforehand I want to tell you a little bit about the extra senses that sharks have, because unlike humans we only have 5 senses, which is sight, hearing, taste, smell and touch. These guys, they also have a lateral line which runs tiny, tiny little pores along its side, which enables him to sense vibrations in the water. And he has ampullae of Lorenzini, which are just on the end of his mouth here. Now hopefully, there we go, he may just go into tonic, which is basically, it's a paralysis that the scientists can't really explain, but when we're handling them to do any sort of operation or anything that we might need to do, if we get if we're putting a tag in them, like a very small slit, we can put them into tonic, and that means that they'll chill out just like this guy's doing, and they won't be as stressed. Now we've actually got a little boy here. You can see the 2 claspers. So that's how you identify them. This guy's got 2 claspers there, as opposed to just a hole, which would be a female. So he is a little bit stressed. You can see his gills are starting, not too bad, but they will get a little bit blotchy soon. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let him go now. So to do that, what I want to do is I'm keeping this stance to keep his tail and those dermal denticles that cover his body from touching me, because they're like sandpaper. They can really, really make a mess if he gets a good go at me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let him into the water, and I'm going to move my hand back very, very quickly, and hopefully he's going to swim away from me and not back towards me. So here we go, buddy. Let's just let you go now. You can chill out. There we go. So swimming nice and peacefully along the bottom. That is exactly what we want to see. And that's why I'm able to hold him like this. I don't need to push. Gave away a fright as well. Oh my god! part of the problems with working with dangerous animals, or part of the things you really need to worry about, is they do bite. So sharks, especially lemons, as I said earlier, are quite aggressive. It's never the shark's fault, it's always our fault, because we are the ones that are interfering with their day-to-day life and we're handling them, so we take risks when we're doing this job. But this bite here is actually caused by a juvenile lemon that we caught in the gill nets not so long ago. Now, it wasn't doing so well, so I was using a regular technique, which is to walk the lemon just to get some water over its gills and to get it to revive the animal. But this particular lemon shark may have been playing me a little bit, as you can see. And when I mentioned in the pen that they're really flexible, that they can get their heads to their tails, because they're all cartilage, there's no bone inside of them. This is just a really good example of that, and you can see just how strong their teeth are and just how sharp they are, because you've got the four or five indents just there where the teeth have gone through my skin. And unfortunately here and here they've actually taken a few bits of my flesh with them, so it is just one of the hazards of working with dangerous animals, but it is a reason why quite a lot of these people respect and love these creatures as well.